A surcharge wouldn't, I don't think it would stop us. We need to travel, we need to meet clients, we need to go to sites, especially. Our CEO talks a lot about collaboration, and you can't really do that over a Teams call. And they do like to meet with clients in person. At the end of the day, growth is probably at the moment the most important thing.
The nature of our business is surrounded around servicing the clients. A physical engineer has to go out and service a machine. They may hold off on internal travel where, a Zoom or a Teams meeting might suffice. But I honestly believe it will only increase. I don't think a surcharge around sustainability will hold us back in traveling. The interaction is quite important.
If we really wanted to cut back, we would cut travel. Travel does inspire the things that we need to do for our business. It always has. But again, I think we also learned through COVID, you can be very productive without travel and still be profitable. But I don't think that helps your relationships.
Some of the locations we've got, we don't have a sustainable choice. You've got one choice. There's one airline going from one airport to another airport, and that's your only choice. Making a sustainable choice then comes around how many people need to be on that flight doing that job. And generally, that's client-driven. There's a surcharge on top. It then creates another question, right? Who's actually going to pay for it? Is it us as the engineering firm or the end client that's going to be paying for it? Because some of our travel might be reimbursable. So it complicates the question even further. I think the reality is there isn't a boardroom in Britain or around the world that isn't expecting some sort of cost for the energy transition process. But it's about when that comes, how quickly it comes, and at what level it comes.
Airlines have this great tactic where they encourage the traveller to use their points to emit emission or pay additional fee. It does come at a cost, and I think the travellers would not use their loyalty points to do so for a business trip. I think charging it onto the company might be a long-term cost absorption for the company.
In our policy, of course, we do the right nudging, right messaging around should you be using this, should you be travelling, shouldn't you be using Teams or any other video software.
We try and encourage rail as much as possible. However, it depends, again, on flexibility, because we do a lot of flights from Glasgow through to Bristol. Yes, we could push rail, but it's going to take 7 hours, where it might take someone 4 hours. And a lot of our business is client-based, so you need to spend as much time with the client as possible. We are actually looking at potentially incentives to improve it. So, for example, I've read that there's some companies that over a certain number of hours, they allow first-class travel. We don't allow first-class travel at the moment. It's only executive. But it's something we're going to be thinking about, because actually, what is the incentive for somebody to go on a train from Glasgow to Bristol? Well, if it's first-class travel, then actually they're going to be able to get work done, so they're going to be productive.
I think it has to come from the company within to say that we could communicate this in a fashion, but not subjectively push it on anyone. It's like putting out options and then making sure or hoping people make the best choices. And then when they don't, it's not scrutinizing them and also not pounding it into them that they made a bad choice, when in reality the choice was made for whatever reason they needed to make it.
We're actually creating our own green sustainable program this year for 2025. We sent out a series of questions as part of our annual RFP, and we are creating our own hotel green program, because we don't feel that at the moment we've got the best data in the world to actually take that data and create our own green program. So what we'll be doing as well is we'll be making it very clear on the portal exactly that this is a green hotel, giving our employees the best possible choice to make the correct decision going forward.
I think it's just like any other data in this industry. It's all coupled together, and we're expected to match gauges and match cadence and match a lot of things to give one directive. It takes 1,000 years to get an actionable plan or derive data from what they give you for an actionable plan.
we report on it and we provide data on it. But the data is fragmented, right, across the whole spectrum. So the airline data is fragmented. Accommodation data is almost impossible to get anything sensible, particularly when you go to some of the locations we do. You've got a lot of hotels who are trying to sell you a lot of things around sustainability. I'm not going to be ringing our CEO up and saying how many towels have you used this week while you've been traveling. So the inability to measure that is obvious. For me, then it becomes about the values and aligning values as much as measuring something.
Now, it goes back to doing your research when you're selecting vendors. If, again, you were looking for a specific type of supplier that met these requirements, sustainability should be on your requirement list if that's indeed how you feel about the suppliers you're selecting. If not, and they do well, then it's an added bonus, but you're not deferring from the product you're buying from them.